So yeah, I mean, I had to be willing to take on a little bit larger risk. Not something I know everybody's comfortable doing. You've got to scale in the way, or not. You got to size the way you're comfortable sizing. To each their own. Now you could take 35 if you want to take a 30. Well, there they are, 35. We know the importance of 35 on the part of the ES. Now I'm going to take one off on the NASDAQ at the proverbial 635. So I'm going to go down to 647 and take one off. When they fail at 770 and 735, they want to go to 635. So I'm going to be out about 10 or 12 points in front of that at 647. That's what the trade was all about. Failing up at those levels and coming back down to 635. I'm going to cancel the buys in the ES for now. As I said, you could take 35 because we need 35 to really break. 35 breaks, start getting down into the low 20s, 22. So if you want to take 35, you do that. I'm going to take a NASDAQ off a little bit lower here. So there you go. I said NASDAQ would come back down here and front running it. Again, it's worth when you know what the big picture wants to do. The rally's just a head fake. That's all it is. It's just like a dog, barking that has no intention of biting you. The reality is the downside. So we want to short everything we can within comfort zones. But yeah, that was the short up there. I'm holding. I'm just holding. Now the pit hasn't tested 570. I may just take the NASDAQ off around the 570 level, 580. Beautiful, beautiful. I say 23 was next up in the S&P. So I told you, this is not going to last on the upside. There's 580. I might just take this NASDAQ right here. Yeah, I'm just going to take the NASDAQ off at 580 as I said I probably would, and I'm going to hold the ES trade and see if we can't get the whole Monty down there. Let them ride. That was a great NASDAQ trade, huh? Nothing like a few points on that runner, Cal. I mean, would we get 200 points on that runner? At least I did. I get 200 points off that. I took 580 and I sold them up there at 770 area. So a couple hundred points on that. I didn't buy that. That rally was just nothing but BS. As I said, now our next level is 10 on the S&P. If you want to be conservative, you take something off in front of 10 in the ES. If you really want again, that 10 was the low the other day on Friday. If you want to book something in front of that, of course, they've already been down to 15. That's in front of 10. And we need to break that and get down to the 95, 6,800 level. I wouldn't mind even 6,805. I'd still sell a good bounce. That whole rally was nothing but a major head fake. Looks like you're getting in front of a moving truck. I know. They just had to go up and run and hit that little top for us, which was fine. Essentially nothing more than a gap fill for the NASDAQ. A little bit better than that for the S&P. But it's like I said, if you want to take this 15, you can take the 15. You can take something in front of 10, like right here at 12. You could take this. We get anywhere near 6805 to 6800. I'll probably just bank this sucker but they should go lower. And we'll see if we get a bounce off of 05s. But look at this nice melt. Boy, that was so obvious. There's your 10s. Friday's low. Let's see if they can take that out and get down to 05. I'll still sell bounces until we get to 95 or even 86. In particular, 86. Really, if today's the day, they're going to do 86, not just 95. Yeah, 200 points is not a bad runner on the NASDAQ. And right now, what have we got here on the S&P? We're short from, what, 52? So we've got 40 points on the S&P runner. I'm going to stay with it until I get these, well, a little bit lower anyway, till we get this Stoke down. Maybe exit at 05. I'm anticipating a bounce at this 05, but here comes 05, or damn close to it. Here's 05. Bingo. We got bingo. I'm going to cover this for now. I'm going to cover the 05s and see if we can get a bounce. If we don't and they go straight down another 10 points, so be it. But, yeah, we just wrapped up about a 45-point runner there on the S&P at 05. I just bagged it. I said, 05, there's probably going to be a bounce. Let's assume there's going to be a bounce at 05. I'm not going long, but we're done on the shorts. Not a bad piece of cheese there. Relatively small positions, big moves, accepting larger than normal stops. But again, in dollars, it wasn't a huge drawdown relative to what we just banked. There, it's a tough level to hold through because their first time at it, they're going to bounce. So I took off the trade anticipating the highly probable, highly likely bounce off of 05. Now the trick is, can we get a re-entry that later is going to come down and do lower? That's what makes it tricky. But listen, in dollars and cents, I don't need to trade again. It was a huge morning.